So I have been unemployed for exactly 1 week. That's 5 working days and 2 weekend days. Um, I have started to sort of think about how I'm going to move forward quite a bit. And it's really hard to make decisions. I mean, I know from experience working with a lot of different authors that making decisions about things is one of the most difficult things. Whether it's like, what am I going to work on next? Or, what marketing should I do? What should my brand look like? Should I build a website? There's a lot of questions, especially, you know, early on when you're just starting out. But honestly, I'm not really sure the questions get any easier. They get different, maybe. Um, but a lot of the questions that I'm asking myself are like, do I keep doing this? So it's like not, do I market my book? It's, do I market my book? I guess it's the same question. But the difference is like, I was marketing. So do I stop marketing my book? Also, this is Bergie. Bergie Bits. Say hi. This is the three-legged cat. You can see his fur is growing back quite nicely. Say hi, Bergie. Hi. He's like, leave me alone. I was napping on your lap. He's really sweet to me. He doesn't like very many people. Anyway, sorry. So the question is, do I stop marketing? Do I keep marketing? I've taken almost a year off of doing very much marketing. I've sort of done the absolute bare minimum. And I don't really miss most of it. There's a couple things, like I really enjoy writing newsletters, and I really enjoy writing blog posts. But like social media marketing, meh. Well, a lot of the paid marketing that I was doing before, it's not really that interesting. It's just a thing that I did sometimes. So when I'm building out my plan, it's kind of like, well, do I keep doing that stuff or not? Like I don't really know the answer. So I decided, rather than focusing too much on that, I would start on my writing and publishing plan instead, because I have a whole, like, just a huge backlog. So anybody who has followed me for any time knows that I had a pretty high production prior to getting a grown up job. And so I have a whole bunch of books that I just haven't published. They're written and they're in various stages of editing. So Wilton Wayne, which is the first book in the Sablewood series that I released last year, I have 4 more books written and part of book 5. Well, wait, I have 3 more books. How does that math work? Anyway, 4 manuscripts are done, and the 5th book is partially done. It's got like 25,000 words on it, which is like 30% done. So I have a lot just in that one series. I have another Rove City fairy tale, which you guys haven't seen a fairy tale since like 2023, I think. I have 4 out of 5 stories in the Ariel's fairy tale series. So there's that. So I'm one short story short of another Ariel's fairy tale manuscript, because I put 5 stories in each of those. They're like novella length. And then while I was working a grown up job, I wrote a horror story, which sort of takes the form of 5 short tales. And so that's a little different for me, but whatever. I'm going to get to it. I'll publish that as well. That's complete. Like, the story itself is complete. I haven't done any revisions on it. And that's just what I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, so I also have Land of Sojourniak for all of you Land of Sojourniak fans. I'm doing a redesign, and I'm going to release some new content along with that. I don't know if you noticed, but last year early, I released the Minda's Book of Monsters, which has all of my drawings and stuff from the original series, and then a couple of short stories. One is about Ascari's mom and dad when they met, so it's kind of like a in the past type of thing. Another one is when Minda, I forget. Man, I don't even remember what I've written. Anyway, there's a couple of short stories to go with that. So I and then for the Ariele song fans, I actually started a it's not really a fourth book per se. It's like the first book of a new trilogy in the same world with a different main character. So yeah. And then I also have part of a manuscript I've been calling The Last Wedding, and it's essentially a sort of apocalypse story about a caterer who goes to a wedding that's kind of like isolated in a really rural area with a really, rich dad of the couple getting married. And the apocalypse happens while they're catering this wedding. Uh, I have like 25,000 words on that written too. And then I have this other series called Cecily Winters and the Case of the Missing Bees, which is supposed to be like cozy mystery, sci-fi mystery, because I don't really do plain old contemporary. But Cecily Winters is a beekeeper in sort of a near future type of world. Um, and then the bees go missing. But I just have a lot of things that I could work on, which kind of leads me into the marketing side of things because marketing does take a lot of time. Um, and part of me is like, well, if I just kind of quit marketing, then I can focus on releasing all of these other, or like, finishing everything. But at the same time, if nobody's knows that I have books available, then it's like this weird, like, how do I decide what to work on and when to work on it and how much effort. A lot of my process in the past has been very intuitive. I just kind of work on what I feel like working on when I feel like working on it. So I got to build that in as well. But I also like to have kind of a path for myself, a roadmap, so that I don't just go in 1,000 different directions and never actually finish anything. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So my plan next is I'm actually going to sit. Oh, I discovered one of the writers in my Discord server, Jenny, sent me a link to a tool called TrackBear, which is so cool. If you guys remember NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month website, they had this like tracking tool where you could, during the months that you're doing the challenge, you could input your word count and it would make all these cool graphs for you. And I mean, it's pretty basic programming. Um, but TrackBear is basically a tool that allows you to do that, but you can set up whatever projects you want. You can count not just words, but like pages and lines and other things. So if you write poetry or, if you write scripts or, whatever, you have options for that. You can set goals. You can join challenges that people set up. And I spent like an hour on setting up stuff today, and I was like, this is super cool and super useful for a person like me who jumps around from project to project. It will allow me to be like, where am I at on that project, and see like, oh yeah, I finished the draft and now I'm in the revision phase, or I finished revisions and I'm in design or whatever. So I'm pretty excited about this new tool. I did donate to their Ko-fi account because I just thought it was such a cool tool. And I recommend everyone checks it out. I'll put a link in the, down below. So that's my current plan in terms of my writing. I am not sure if I'm going to open back up for freelancing projects or not. I haven't decided. I'll probably do a few, like for returning clients. Like if a previous client reaches out to me and is like, hey, can you edit this thing or can you do a coaching session? I probably would for a returning client. Whether or not I'll take anyone new, I don't really know. It's again like, how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to spend my time editing other people's manuscripts, or do I want to spend my time editing my own manuscripts? And there's a lot of equation that goes into that, a lot of math, because it's not obviously just about time. It's like a puppy German Shepherd being trained. It's so gangly. You know how like puppies have like super long legs and they just look like they're very disproportionate. This puppy, it's pretty big, so it's got to be close to a year, but it's still in that like teenage stage where it's like ears are just a little too big and its legs are just a little too long. Good dog. Anyway, sorry, distracted by the animals. So that's also part of my equation is the animals, like, Bergie Bits here. I'm currently trying to lure Growler, who's Bergie Bits' sister, out of the barn loft. I want to make her a little bit more human friendly. And then, friggin' Blueberry somehow managed to get into a bag of white chocolate, like peppermint lint balls the other day, and he ate 7 of them and the wrappers. He's fine. Like, it's not toxic. Thank goodness it wasn't actual chocolate. And he ate them. He's a big dog. So we called the vet and they were like, he'll probably just pass them through his digestive system. So we're giving him dog laxatives. It's just pumpkin. But like we deal with this stuff all the time. Like Bucket has a slight limp. He's still limping. It's been like 2 weeks. And Freya hasn't left her bed in like 2 months, so I'm probably gonna have to do something about that. So there's the animals, and then there's the household, and then there's finances, and then there's like personal goals and career goals, and all of these things make up the equation for me to decide how I'm going to be spending my time and what I'm going to work on, what I'm going to focus on. So, I don't really know. I don't have a plan yet. But I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write some stuff out this afternoon, and I'm going to make myself an actual plan of attack based on what kind of projects I have in the cooker, how much effort is required to push them out the door, and how many resources are required. So some of my manuscripts I do the design and all that stuff for. Some of the manuscripts I hire an editor, some I hire various designers, and so I have to look at like the time cost and the money cost. And I'm gonna have to reach out to some people and be like, hey, what's on your schedule for this year, month, whatever, to figure that out. So when you become a writer, they don't tell you how much math is involved. Even if you are like, I'm not doing math. Like, I became a writer so that I don't have to do math. There's still so much math, and it's like not even monetary math. It's like you can't even really assign values to these things. I mean, maybe I could if I really wanted to come up with some kind of system to do that, but it's just math. Like, it's like conceptual math. And there's a lot of it. Anyway, I probably should stop playing with Bergie's foot. Do you want me to stop playing with your foot? He doesn't really seem to care. You want to say hi to the camera again, buddy? Say hi. Say what? I want out there. Isn't he so pretty? Isn't he pretty? You're a good boy. You're a good boy, Bergie. Look at how sleepy he is. You're a good boy. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say swampy salutations. But anyway, this is Swamp Hag Feeling signing off. Oh, and Bergie Bits is signing off too. He wants to go take a nap. Adios.